Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome in. What's going on? How's everyone doing? Gonna get started here in just a second. Alrighty. We're gonna be working on Starground today. I know, it's crazy. It's almost like I forgot about that game or something. We're gonna be messing around with questing today. I wanna hopefully just try and get it playable. Doesn't have to be perfect today. But yeah. Alright. Oh, my throat. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Plays with me, Yoshik Replay. What's up? Yoshik Replay, how's it going? Okay, it is Starground time. Give me one moment, though. Get that out of there. Okay. Been a while? Since Sunday, I think, right? Unless you weren't here. But I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna be doing stuff with the questing. I want to get it playable. So we have to implement this check scene now. Oh, your laptop screen broke. That sucks. Hopefully you can get that fixed or something. Okay, so this has got a couple different things. Name, description, required, and then time. Which if it's 0, it's infinite. Loot ID. So that's the loot we get out of it. And we get 3. And then we have the generate script. So this is doing the initial stuff here. So it's saying list of enemy IDs. It's just grabbing random entities, pushing them back. So the ID of this one is enemy's ID. Global entities table is boss. That amount is always 1. Otherwise, it's 5 to 15. And then the objective text. So it's basically what we need to access when we're checking if the quest is complete. And then also check the number of killed enemies, I suppose. I'm using another laptop. When the real one is fixed, I'm going to develop that Hook game. Ah, nice, yeah. That'll be epic. Okay, so let's go to our quests. So I think the easiest way to do this... Use me. And keep questing moddable. That's the big thing, right? That I want to retain here. Is to kind of do all the checking and stuff with a script. Because different quests will probably have wildly different objectives. It's not always just going to be a number thing of like, kill this guy. It could also be like, find this item, or there's a bunch of things it could be, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to go ahead and just say... check quest kill enemies. So this is just gonna have a thing in here. I might make this extend from another thing, which is just called quest checker, and have that be like a custom class, right? Just so that, like, I kind of set up some base logic and it's easier to set it up. So we'll have, like, signal completed, signal failed. And these are just signals that you can emit to change the quest status. And then we're also going to have function process, and that's just going to be checking for the condition in there. And of course, function ready. Okay. So that should work. So now in check quest, I'm going to say it extends our quest checker. And then in process, we're just going to be continually checking for that condition to be accepted or whatever. All right, so the other thing that we have to do is actually make it so the player can actually accept the quest. Right now, that's not really possible. But it should be pretty easy. So we have our quest board here. And this is the action button, so whenever you click on it, it'll do stuff. Right now, it doesn't do anything, but we will make it do stuff. So... should all be good. Okay. So we're probably gonna just keep quests per player. I think it'll just be the easiest way to do it. I would do quests as a global thing, but I feel like it might get a little too easy to cheese quests that way. It also might be annoying if you're like minding your own business in the automation zone and somebody else is completing quests. You're going to be constantly like seeing it pop up, and you know, it would just be annoying. So I think we keep it player side. So we're gonna say as long as our global active player is valid, and we can reference them. And we're going to store that data inside of the player. It also makes it really easy to like reload these quests and stuff. So I think it'll be the way forward. Now, one thing that's going to be tricky is saving partially completed quests. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so this is going to be var active quests. And I think this is going to be a dictionary. Because it's going to have like a... Oh, did I already do one called active quests? Okay. So that one was an array of dictionaries. Oh, that actually makes more sense. Okay. Forgot about that. So this is the thing that we're going to be referencing and modifying. So we're just going to have a function in here to add one of those quests. It'll just be function add quest. Then we're just going to pass in the the quest data and then say active quests.pushback data. So let's figure out how that's going to work. Because this quest, when we first like generated it in here, has more than just an ID, right? Because you can see down in here, populate. Does it in here somewhere? So it's in available quests. And this has more data, right? Because it's got the ID. But it's also setting like other stuff. So quest data. See, we have quest data and then rewards. So what is quest data gonna have? Also, we're setting ID as well. I'll just specify that in here. Just so it's not confusing. So this is essentially the data we're gonna have inside of our quest. It should be pretty easy to add more to it for modding and stuff, but... So add quest, should be pretty easy then. So what we're gonna say here then is global.active player.pushback active quests.pushback. And it's gonna be whatever our active quest is. So we also just have to double check that active quest is also valid. All right, so now we're gonna do that. So that should work. Okay. And all that's gonna do is just add it to our list in here. I tell you that I'm changing the game's game engine? Oh no, I don't think I remember that. You might have, but yeah, I know you were using GameMaker initially, right? What are you moving over to? Oh, we just say add quest here. Godot, let's go. Yeah, I mean, GameMaker's fine. It's it works. But man, I remember trying to use GameMaker. It got to a point where it was I started to constantly run into things that were like limiting me, you know. I don't know if that's sort of the same thing that you felt like you ran into, but yeah. It can be kind of frustrating. GameMaker. Godot on the other hand. One thing I also don't like about GameMaker is how they just changed all their license stuff. Like, I had bought the $100 permanent license for GameMaker too. And then all of a sudden they were like, okay, we're doing subscription model now, so you don't get you don't get Game Maker anymore. And I was like, what? Come on. I paid $100 and now and I guess they swapped back to a permanent license, but I guess it was like a little bit of a wake-up call of realizing that, like, I'm at the mercy of whatever this company decides. Some new CEO could come in and make a change, and then boom, I lose my license and have to pay $50 a month or something insane. So I was just like, whatever then. I'm done. I feel like I ran into more bugs in GameMaker than my entire life, yeah. GameMaker is very error prone. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's fine for experimenting with and starting out, probably. I still wouldn't recommend it. I think Godot is better for that, but, you know. If you're gonna use, like, the buttons, then maybe it's easier. But, I don't know. Not my cup of tea. Alright, so that should be adding the quest to this list now. Whenever we add a quest, I'm just going to print active quests, make sure that it's working. And then we're going to update the quest UI to reflect the player's current quests. If there is a quest in the available quests that matches the player list, then we just don't show it. I'm going to make it so that, like, quests are probably refreshed once a day. I think they already do. And also so that people can accept the same kind of quest. I want, like, the types of quests being displayed to be a universal thing for everybody on the server, instead of being unique quests. So let's go ahead and just start loading into a funny little save. I guess we can do whatever. Would also like to add in an actual creative mode. I'm thinking of just doing how Minecraft does it, where there's, like, game modes. Where you could just say /mode set creative or something like that, right? I think that would be nice. Okay, so here we are. Let's go to the Space Hub. Quest board. Okay, so that's a lot of coins. Accept. So that should have showed up in the list of quests now. Yeah, so now you can see here's the list of quests. So ID, Starground quest, kill enemies. Then you got your rewards. All the coins. And then the other quest data. So it's like, we're specifically killing the mini diatomatus. We want 5 of them. And then our objective text. So, that's looking good. What we also need to do, though, is that whenever we add a quest, we need to create that quest checker node. Because we need that to start running and checking for the quests, right? Just wondering if there's any other easier way to do this. I mean, one option is just to have a bunch of signals inside of the player, and then make the quests work around that. You know, where we have just signals for random things that can happen. Right. One for, I don't know, an enemy killed, food consumed, stuff like that. And then just have the quest system tie into those signals. I don't know, what do we think? I mean, I don't really like the notion of having to have this quest checker scene. But I don't know, it's hard to say. I don't know how else I'm supposed to really do it, though, that's the problem. Because my idea with this is that it would just be a node that gets added to the scene, and this is going to check every frame for the quest conditions. And it's just going to read through and see how many enemies have been killed and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. That might be the way. And you don't have to use the process event. If everything works with your checker with signals, then you could just do that. But I guess it would be nice to have signals for it. So I might go ahead and set that up then. So in our quest checker, I'm also going to have our player. Type of player. Okay. And I'm not going to force people to do process event. And then inside of our checker, we can just say function ready player dot, and then we can have our signal, right? So enemy killed. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm probably going to add a bunch of new signals to the player. Then I'm going to have a reference to the enemy right here. Now, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm actually going to do that. Of, like, check if the person... I think I already do that inside of the enemy, though. When I do the drop heart, or the heart drop thing. Just have to figure out where that is, though. Process on hit, ready. Well, I'm gonna make this entity killed then instead of enemy killed. Then inside of entity, whenever they've taken damage. See, because there's no variable for like who has dealt the damage. Which is the only problem. But I think it'd be fine. I can just add a new variable to this. For take damage, I can say from is null by default. Well, I could see who it was sent by, right? Isn't there a way to know or to retrieve the node that a function was called from? Don't want AI. Yeah, I mean, I could just call it or pass it as an argument. That'll be fine. So, the only thing is this is also only on the server side, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, I could just have all the quests calculated and processed on the server. It'd be easier. So I might do that. Also, the only issue is since this is an RPC, I can't really send a node reference because it might be invalid by the time it gets back to the server. So that's kind of dangerous. So I probably shouldn't do it that way. I don't want to do this. I might go ahead and just say player ID or like a here ID. By default is -1. And then down in here, if has died. Then say if here ID is not equal to -1, then we can say global.world.get node string your ID. Now say player is that. If player exists, then we can say player dot entity killed dot emit self. It's probably going to be the easiest way to do this. Yeah, and we'll just have to set up a bunch of these signals. Some of these are going to be a lot easier than others, but... Oh. But now it's going to be funny. Because anytime we've done a custom take damage, it's going to now want this pure ID. I might just change that to use a different method. I think we'll say var last hit. Last pure. Last peer received. So that also works because then if an enemy ends up dying by other means, it still like keeps track of the last person that attacked them. It's kind of how that works in Minecraft, where like if you at least hit an enemy once, then it kind of marks it as being hit by you. So if that enemy goes and falls in lava or whatever, it still classifies it as your kill. I think that's probably going to make the most sense here. I'll just specify of the last player who hacked this entity. All right. So now that makes it a lot more easy. So like here, that's dealing damage to ourselves, but on a tool action. So in tool action, we're going to be doing, we're going to be generating our swing thing. So it's not mine. Yeah, we're going to do all this stuff where it generates the slash. Looks like it doesn't have a reference to the player, but we can just say slash.owner is self. Now go into the slash. Oh, the slash is not the same thing. What do I want to check for? What I want to do is see if we've collided. I'm not sure where that is. This is projectile stuff. Interesting. So where does that happen? It might be, I guess, inside of here. Let's go check on that. So the weapon controller? No. Then where does this happen? Because I know it's not affect slash, it's just a sprite. Ah, right here. Create attack box. All right, so now we're gonna say box.owner is self. This only happens on the server. So now in here, this is where it detects the thing. So if the body is an entity, and as long as it's not a player, we're gonna say body dot last peer ID is equal to owner dot. Then we have to figure out what that is. I guess just get multiplayer authority. That should work. All right. So anyways, so now what that will do is we'll get the multiplayer authority there. That'll return our peer ID. And we should be good to go. Now the only other thing we have to do is for damage. Damage is indirectly caused by the player. So like with our projectile stuff, right? Here we load our projectile. We also have to say projectile.owner is self. We're just setting all of this stuff. Now we go into the code here. Ready stuff. And then just down in there where it collides with the player. Right here, hit body. So body, what is body? I guess it's not always an entity, so... But we do say body that take damage. So I would think it's an entity. Or I guess some things just don't have that. That's fun. We'll say, last peer ID is equal to owner.get multiplayer authority. Alright. So that should work for that. That will set the last peer ID. The only other thing is indirect damage from stuff like bombs. But I'm not going to worry about classifying that as player damage right now. I mean, it is, but I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. I'll worry about that another time. Also with like poison clouds and stuff, that needs to be set up properly. Sorry, I keep yawning. Okay, well anyways, after all this, is there a way to choose what happens when this gets emitted? Kind of like the set function, you know? Let's go look at the Godot documentation. Custom signals. I don't think there are. Alright, well, that's fine. We'll just connect up to that signal down here. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and connect it inside of our checker, because that's really what I want to do. So in here we're going to say player dot entity killed dot connect update. That's going to have the entity reference in here. And I'll just print entity whenever the entity is killed. All right, now we have to set up our code to actually generate this quest checker thing. Also, we have to go ahead and do that inside of our quest table. Oh, it's not in scenes, it's in a quest check kill enemies. Alright, so when we first initially add that quest, we're going to instantiate this scene. So it should be pretty easy. Just on add quest, we say active quest push back. Print active quests. Now we're going to say data.id global.questtable.get. Var quest is that. Now we're going to say quest dot check scene. Dot instantiate. Just say var node, or call it var checker. Then say add child checker. Okay. So hopefully that works. The only other thing we need to do here is also say checker dot. Also, I'm gonna make this only on server only. Okay. So the only thing here is on add quest. This is going to be happening on the client. So we're going to do this instead. And then say try add quest.rpc. And any peer. She doesn't need to be any peer. Okay, so that'll work. And we're not going to be checking active player anymore. We're going to say wherever we're calling this from. Let me think here. I guess we'll just have... We could just get the peer ID or the caller ID. It's like get remote sender ID. Now we can say var player is get node or null. ID, make sure that's a string though. And if instance is valid player, active quest, then go ahead and say player.add quest. Okay, so that should only be on the server. I guess let's go ahead and just see if any of this works. I don't know if it will. But should add this little checker scene. And just to make sure that this is actually instantiating, let's print something in here. Say, hee 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 hee. Let's do that. Okay. Man, I'm tired. Alright, so let's load back into, doesn't matter. Let's go see if this works. Hopefully it does. So we're going to be checking that output. Gather items, accept. Oh, did I really just accept the one that doesn't work? Yeah. Okay, we can't do that one yet because I haven't made the thing for it. But let's do kill enemies. Kill 6 mini diatomatus. Accept. Instantiate. Should be okay. Oh, I guess it's because it's not a scene. We have to say .new. I think. Quest. What's up, Abra? Welcome in. Actually, I can go check how I've done this before inside of like the Tesla core. Okay, so the way we do it is we just have a string reference and then we load it, I believe, and that makes it a valid script. So we're just going to do that instead. Because I'm pretty sure that's how we do it on like tool secondary. Yeah, right here we say get attack script, special weapon script. Okay, we do say new. Interesting. Never mind. I guess the issue is because this is not a node, it's a script. But it is a class of a node. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because it's not just, like with those, I think, like the Tesla core. Is it a node? It is a node. But yeah, we're just instantiating it as a script. I don't know if there's a way to do that as a scene unless it actually is a node. I don't know. Because loading that, I guess loading that is probably just going to return the script then. Because it didn't let me say instantiate. Is there any way that I can load the script as a scene? Or as a node? There's a couple different things. That's just making a scene. So you can attach it with... Okay. So yeah, we could use set script, I suppose. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I guess in this case, it'll probably be easier just to use a scene. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just say tscn back into quests. New scene. Type of node. Alright, this will work. Just want to see if there's a cleaner way to do it, but I don't really know if there is. It'll be fine. So anyways, now in here, when we're loading that, we just say that dot instantiate like we're trying to do before. Alrighty. Because I don't know what happens if you attach a script. I mean, there is this set script function, but the script's initiate function is called. But that's the thing, is like, it's not going to call ready. I guess I could attach it on that node before we add it to the player. And then it would call ready. Interesting. Let's try that. Let's try something here. So we could say load check scene. And that'll give us a script. Then we say dot new self. Checker script. Then we say var checker is node.new. Say checker.set script. Checker script. And see if that works. And then also in here on function initiate we're going to say player is equal to set player. Okay. Because now we're calling this dot new self. This doesn't need to load anymore. It's already loaded. Oh, let's give this a try. No idea if this is gonna work. But I think it will all be fine. I hope. Let's see what happens. So we have to accept the kill enemy quest. Hopefully it will set up the script attached to an empty node, add it to the player, and we should be good. And it should print out that it's been connected up to the entity killed signal and all that stuff. So we click on this, kill enemies, kill 10 in the face. Okay. There were some errors thrown. It didn't print anything. Cannot set object script. Okay. So I don't know. It didn't work. Does saying .new on the script turn it into a node? Do you think it does? Just out of curiosity. Maybe it does do that. Let's go ahead and say that. And then try it again. See what happens. Oh. Okay, well then I did all that extra garbage for nothing. So it does do what I thought. I just have to call new to actually make it a node. That was my issue. So yeah, what this will do now is just load in the scene, say .new, and it turns into a node. So nice and easy. So anyways, now that we have that node attached, if we go kill a guy, it should print out and output what their stuff is. Can I get down a null value, huh? That's in the attack box. I did say owner is self. I don't know why that didn't work. Owner gets reset when you add it as a child, I think. Well, that doesn't work then. Let's just say bar player. And then say player. Now back in here, box.player is self. Let's try that instead. Whoa, hold on. Oh yeah, see, look, it emitted the signal that the traveler has died. Cool. Well, looks like it's working. So that's a good first step. And same with the fish, it shows whenever a fish has died. So yeah, all this script is doing is just kind of continually checking and making sure, like, it's just going to connect up to all the signals you want and keep track of our progress, right? So yeah, it's just going to connect up there, connect up to update. I'll actually add a print statement in here, which is just quest monitoring started. Hey, Mad Chirpy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. I'll give you a follow. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, welcome in. What were you up to today on your stream? So I'm gonna make this embedded. I don't know why it's not embedded. I was probably taking videos or something. Yeah, welcome in. Oh, Ponce, how's it going, everyone? We are currently working on our game Starground. We're getting some basics of questing stuff implemented. The way we're doing that is we already had all the initial like setup code. Now what we're doing is implementing a script that will monitor like the objectives of your quest. And it's just connecting up signals and stuff and keeping track of like, okay, if we have a quest where we're supposed to kill enemies, how many enemies have we killed? I'm doing this as individual scenes or scripts because that allows people to mod quests too, which is important. Yeah, I think it'll work. Doing some game dev. Nice, nice. You're totally welcome to, if you got like links or anything to show off what you're working on, feel free to send it in chat. But yeah, for anyone that has been here before, this is my game Starground. What was up with? Okay, there it goes. Updates. Thank you for the follow, Ponce. I appreciate it. But Starground's sort of a mashup of automation and dungeon crawling. So you can build your factory on the main planet Viridian, and then travel into the dungeons. So yeah, we're just setting up questing for, I guess not specifically dungeons. We could also add a few quests for automation stuff too. We can do whatever we want. But yeah. So let's see really quick if this still links up properly. Yep, quest monitoring started. It shows our quest data, which is important. I will probably be passing that over to our quest checker just so that it has a reference of what it's actually supposed to be checking for. Probably a good idea. So we'll do that. And then also like for this stuff, okay, it does have an ID for the Antoid husk, which is good. Okay. So ACC, welcome in. Indie Dev Game Simulator, yeah, that's crazy. Thanks. Most of the time you'll see me working on my horror puzzle game. Ah, nice. Let's take a look at this. Shroud of Gloom. Here, we can go ahead and actually watch the trailer instead of my little jingle playing in the background ruining everything. I do love this new Steam player. Venture into the dark. Explore an old manor. Yeah, this looks nice. I like all the art stuff you've got going on. We're not alone. Yeah, that looks really cool though. I think that'll be awesome once. Any like date or anything planned out, or just sort of whenever it's ready? Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I do love that vibe of like a point and click adventure kind of thing, but like the world is active, you know? There's like things actively happening. I don't know, I think it's always a really cool mix of like the staticness of like not really expecting anything to be. I mean, that's at least that's my assumption. I actually have a game kind of in development. It's a completely different vibe, but like that whole concept where you know, like those old maze games. Maze game. Not, it's like 3D though, you know, the 3D maze games. Like this, where you like walk through the mazes and stuff. I always thought that was a really cool idea, you know? I think matching that with some horror elements would be really cool. That's sort of what I'm experimenting with on another project. Starground is not that game, but yeah, 3D monster maze. I don't know. I always just like that mashup because you don't expect it. It's very scary. Something like this, I'm not going to be expecting guys. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, 2026, yeah. Ah, sorry, we have an ad. My bad. My apologies for the ad, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. I hate when that happens, dude. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna have our data in there, that side of the player when we first initially create that data. That's really an add quest. So we're gonna say print active quests, blah blah blah, add child. And then on this one, we'll reference ourselves and then also pass in our quest data. Believe it or not. Then this is gonna have set data. We're gonna say data is equal to set data. All right, so that'll, now we'll have a reference to this data, which is good. I've been on for like 7 hours, so do got a raid and run, but I'll be lurking. Sounds good. Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry that we got hit with the ad. I should have snoozed it, but yeah, your game's looking great. I appreciate you sending the link and stuff. I'll definitely be checking it out. Also, Abra, are you gonna do the Dana Jam this year? I've been conflicted. You're using a lot, yeah, no problem. But yeah, Dana Jam, I probably will do it. I've been doing a lot of jams. I do kind of just want to work on my own projects, but I don't know. I don't think Dana Jam is super long. It's probably only a few days, so I think I'll probably do it. It starts on the 5th, right? So that's gonna be Friday. Yeah. I'll probably do it. I don't know what time it starts at. I have to go check that. Down to jam. Let's see, it's the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th. Oh, yeah, welcome in. Yeah, sorry, I was gonna go double check on that on the YouTube chats. I didn't see what you asked. My apologies. Let me go look at the live. It's Twitch makes it frustrating to view YouTube chats because yeah, it's you're not allowed to put the YouTube chat on Twitch, otherwise you get in trouble. So it's really frustrating. Okay, yeah, sorry. But yeah, you asked if I'm dev. Yes, I am. I'm developing this game, Starground. Okay, so that starts at 11 a.m. GMT -6, which I think is... I'm pretty sure I'm GMT -7. What is mountain time? Well, it's not... Oh, it is 5. Yeah, I'm -7. Okay, so -6 is going to be central time. Right? Yeah. Alrighty. I'll probably do the one dev army. Why is this in French or whatever? What? Okay. Alright. Or dev, I'm a voice actor. Okay, nice, nice. Sorry, I'm just looking at all the jam stuff here. Yeah, I'll probably do this one. I don't know, though, if I'm going to do the one after this one. I probably won't. Because that's going to be a pretty critical time for Starground, I think. I think they do it twice a year, so it's like every 6 months. And that's going to be like right on Starground's release time, probably. So I'm not going to worry about trying to squeeze in a jam then. So you read French for a second? Yeah, I cannot read French, no. What is Starground? So Starground is a combo of 2 genres. You can build a factory on your home planet here and collect resources and craft things and place buildings, you know, whatnot. Think of a game like Factorio. And then you can delve into the dungeons. You can go battle enemies, right? So I can go to this planet. There's no voice acting in it. All of the voice acting is just little beeps. I'll show you some of the voice acting. Here, we can go back out of here. And we'll go to the space hub. Hey, Fencer, welcome in. How's it going? Check it out either way. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, we purposely didn't do any voice acting because it just gets extremely complicated. Because we would have to have people translating voice, like re-record voice clips in their own native tongue and stuff, and that's just gets really complicated. Yeah, they just like make little noises. It works well because if we're on a different language, like if we're in Chinese or something, it means that everything still just like works. Actually, he's not translating. I don't know if that's a mistake with the translation sheet or that key isn't in there for Chinese. Let's try a language that I know is translated, like Czech. Big thanks to Fencer for translating the game into Czech. Okay, yeah, it's translated in Czech, just I guess Chinese is just not translated for that key. That's not a big deal. But yeah, it's nice because I have it set up where their voice will kind of match up with the text. So if it's a small like little line, but then when translated it gets huge, it'll still like work. Because he'll only make the sound as long as the text is expanding out. But yeah, there's just complications with trying to do voice acting. I definitely think voice acting is cool, for sure. But, I don't know, it's hard. Eventually, though, I think I'll probably work on a game with voice acting. I think for that new game we've been working on, the Maze game, we're probably going to do some voice acting. We've got some ideas floating around for what we're going to be doing for that fully, so if anyone is interested on helping translate that stuff, let me know. Or just doing it in English, too. Ooh, I actually got it right. Okay, so we can do... Oh, all these are the exact same. Why? Oh, I think I have a thing set up in the items you get from this. Oh yeah, because you could either do it as a loot table, or you can just do it as a set solidified table as well. And I think that's what I do for this. Loot quest kill enemies, loot quest gather items. And it's because there's no loot amount. Yeah, that's why. So, if you don't specify loot amount, it means that it's just going to do all of it. So I better specify in here. Right. So I don't forget. Otherwise, it's static. Uses all the items. Okay. Then one shot is pretty straightforward. Basically, it's just saying whether the quest can be completed multiple times or not. If that's set to true, then it's like a one-time quest for everybody. I imagine that will be important for specific story quests, so we'll have stuff that's like a sequence of quests, you know, where it's like the first introductory quest to an NPC quest line, and that's set to one shot so that it doesn't appear again. But then we can set that quest being completed as a requirement for a different one, so it'll work out. Something we also do need to keep track of inside of the player is completed quests. So let's just go to active quests, and we're gonna have a list of our completed quests. Will be a dictionary. So that's just gonna have a bunch of different ID keys for each quest, and then next to it, the quantity of times it's been completed. back down to add quest. Function complete quest. And that's gonna say completed quest, stop push back. And we'll be saving that data. We can just easily add that variable to our save node. So we'll do that. So we're just gonna say at that complete quest ID, which is data. Then we say data.id. And we have to say, right, if dot has it already, else we say now it's equal to 1. We say plus equals 1. All right, so that's it for that function. So we're almost, I mean, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Okay. Tired. I never get enough sleep, guys. How do you sleep more? I guess the secret is not staying up playing Minecraft all night, and that's probably the secret. I'll say, Jotson, welcome in. How's it going? Okay, so what's next on our list? So we've got the checkers being created. So we'll set up all the code for that. Okay. Yes, I am. I am indeed a Godot enjoyer. Godot's been a great engine. I've enjoyed using it. So. So welcome back, Oshik. Minecraft, yeah. We've been playing on a private server. I streamed it last time on was it Sunday? Yeah, we streamed on Sunday. It's been pretty fun. It's been nice just doing a really light pack, you know? It's literally like just create a couple magic things. I haven't even dived into the magic mods at all yet, so. Yeah, it's gone pretty well. Crate's been really fun, especially with the new storage stuff. It's become insane. Being able to set up the automated vaults and transfer items around and stuff, it's like, it's really cool. I love how hands-on everything is, you know what I mean? Like, Factorio is a great game, but sometimes the scale is so large, it feels like you're disconnected from your factory in a way. With Create, it's like, I don't know, you're building every little component of your machines, you know? It feels monumental to automate something. Like, recently I just made an iron farm with Create, and it was like, I don't know, just really fun. And so rewarding, because I put so much effort into it. Designing it and figuring out like how fast I wanted it to go and solving problems. I don't know. Create's a really cool mod. I do think, honestly, it's probably my favorite Minecraft mod. Yeah, I just crush the cobble and the gravel and then wash it. It's a really simple process, but the challenge is just keeping it compact and making sure everything runs smoothly. Because there's always like little problems that come up, like making sure that the gravel moves through the encased fan slow enough to actually fully get washed and stuff. For the cobble generation, I'm just doing some drills, of course. I can draw out like a diagram of how I'm doing it. So what I'm doing is, this is a top-down view. So first layer has water. Then we have an empty space where the stone will go here. And then over on the edges, the red is our drills. Right? And then underneath these zones, I have chutes that go down to a conveyor belt. And then the next layer above this one, right? We have a stone on top of the water. And then we have lava here. Like this. So lava just sits over the stone. These are source blocks of water. Water flows over to the stone area. Lava turns it into cobble. And then drills mine it. It drops down into the chute onto the conveyor belt. It's kind of cool because it looks like an engine from the outside. It looks kind of sick. But yeah. And then all that just like goes in the conveyor belt over here. It goes into some crushing wheels right there. And then this is like a vertical stack. So from a side view, our cobble stuff is up here. Goes into our crusher here. And then it goes down back under. And this goes on all the encased fans and then back into a chest where I compact it into a block. It's better with pipes and moving blocks, so yeah. What's that method? I mean, I've been doing this, and one nice thing that they changed in 6, yeah, Crate 6, the newest version, is the way that blocks break now. It doesn't actually break the block when it's in a stationary setup like this, and drop an entity and then pick it up. Now it just instantly creates the entity, or instantly creates the item without creating a dropped entity anymore. So it's just a nice little optimization for performance that they've added. So this is probably a better method for performance now than doing like a moving machine with like drills where it swings around or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, it's been working pretty well. And now that you don't have to wait for the cobblestone blocks to generate, it's just like instant. All that matters is the speed of your drills for how much cobble you're generating. So you can just make your drills really fast and you make a bunch of cobble. I don't know, it's pretty nice. But anyway, sorry guys for the Minecraft talk. Okay, so that's all set up. Complete quest. So now we would have to just update the UI and stuff. Because if we've already accepted a quest, I do not want it to show up in here anymore. Because on ready over here, we're going to say set meta quest. Whoa, the meta quest? What? So we'll fix all that. So for Starground modding, doesn't matter what version of Godot multiplayer you get. I'm on the website and can't find a download for 4.2.1. I'm on, I should just be on the newest one. Let's go ahead and go to that. So, also, that documentation, I do need to update that. It's a little bit out of date. I don't actually use multiplayer pure anymore. I used to use it, but it kept causing me a ton of issues. I might go back to it once because apparently there's been this massive rework to how it works, so I might do that. But so far what I'm using is working fine, so... Whoa, look at all these people. Who are these people? It'd be epic if one day I made enough money to become a Godot sponsor, Godot Steam sponsor or something. But all you want to do is just go to download standard and download the newest version of a regular Godot Steam. So you just go here, click on download precompiled bundle, and then you end up here. Yeah, I forgot he doesn't use a GitHub anymore. And then right here, this is the one you want to use. I'm usually always using the newest version. So, unless this is like a new version. There's all these new things. Let me double check what version I'm actually on, because I'm pretty sure it'll say inside of the folder. Godot editor. So 441, but that's just like the Godot version, right? Huh. That's weird, because that shows 415, and then when I go in there, it's... What? Oh, I guess this is not in the stable branch yet. So don't do 416, just do the latest stable branch on here. You just go to releases, and then it's the one right here up at the top. Download the zip, and you should be good to go. But if you've got any questions about modding stuff, definitely let me know. I know some of the documentation is a bit out of date, so I do want to work on that. It's just hard, because Starground changes so much, you know? It's constantly moving around. But honestly, at this point, I would probably strongly recommend decompiling the game to do modding. There's a guide on that still does work, although there's a newer version now. If we go to GitHub, and then to here, so just go to the page on decompiling game files. Yeah, you get Godot Steam. Yeah, that shows the wrong link now. I should probably update this stuff. And then you get GDS decomp from here. And there's a new version, I think. This is 1.0, but there might be... There's always new versions. There's 1.02 now. Yeah, anyways. Hopefully that'll help, though. If you really want an up-to-date view of everything in the game, decompiling is going to be the way to do it. It's really not that hard. You just download the thing and decompile, and then it just works. And then some of these other things are still pretty accurate. Like over here in just the initial, like, creating your initial mod. You still need the info.json and the building entry and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? And exporting is still the same process. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you can DM me or at me on Discord or wherever. I am more than happy to help. Let's see how you send me this video, Sheik. Let's see. Ads. Oh, that's really interesting. So what is it doing here? How does this work? So it looks like it's just a moving block. You've got water pumping up. Oh, lava from bottom, okay. Yeah, I guess that would work then. Yeah, it generates cobble instantly, and then it's just gonna move the block, but since there's already a block there, it breaks the cobble block that's placed down. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of doing it. I mean, I don't really need that much cobble, but... I always use the newest version of Godot, which is 4.4, I believe. When you download Godot Steam, that is a version of Godot in and of itself. So you'll just open that. So like when you download standard in here and 4.15 source code, you know, I'll just show you what files and stuff you need to run and set up. So you do that, you have your zip. The file that you will be running, if you're on Windows... Oh, wait. I downloaded the wrong thing. Don't download source code, my bad. Download down here. So if you're on Windows, download the Windows one. Likewise, there's Mac and Linux, but Starground doesn't run on Mac. Well, it's not that it doesn't run on it. I don't have the export stuff set up for Mac, so be warned. But Windows, let's just say, it's the exact same process for Linux. Yeah, download the pre-compiled stuff down here, not the source code. My bad. So you open this up. There's a couple files in here. The actual editor is this one. This is what you're going to launch, the exe. Godot Steam Editor Windows. And that'll just open up Godot. You won't even really know, you won't even tell any big difference or anything. It'll be the exact same. The only difference is that it's just going to be the Steam build. So it's going to have all the native Steam functions. You know, you can say Steam dot whatever, right? So hopefully that helps. And again, totally welcome to ask me any questions you've got. On stream, off stream, whenever. I am your Wikipedia. It's also helpful for people to come with me with questions. Come to me with questions. And the reason for that is then I know what the documentation is failing at explaining. So it's pretty helpful. And don't worry about bothering me or anything. It's fine. I want people to ask me questions. Entered 49 errors. It's this, I don't know what causes this error. It doesn't mean anything and it doesn't cause any problems in the game. This error only happens whenever, you change the language in the game. I don't know what FD is. It's some weird font get descent. I don't know why it does it. But it doesn't actually affect the game. It doesn't cause any crashes or anything, so I kind of just ignore it. You just need Godot Steam, because this is Godot. This is a custom build of Godot. So after you download the Windows editor and you launch this exe and this zip, that'll just open Godot. Right? This is Godot right here. This editor.windows exe. So. And that's pretty much all you need. So you'll launch that. Then, of course, assuming you've decompiled the game, you just open up the project inside of the editor in here. So yeah, all this is basically what Godot Steam is. They've taken Godot, they pull Godot source code, add in the Steam stuff, and rebuild it as a new exe. So it's the exact same as regular Godot. It just has the Steam stuff kind of integrated into it. So yeah. Maybe one day I'll use the... what is it? That's funny. It actually does mention the Espresso Bits multiplayer period too. I thought somewhere there was a extension. It might not be a thing anymore though. For doing the Steam stuff. Let's see what there is. Yeah, I don't know if he actually maintains that anymore. I think there used to be a version of Godot Steam that was like a plugin that you can install into your project, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. So yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's crazy how many different games use Godot Steam that you don't even think about. Like Chillquarium. Like, I didn't really know. Window Kill. There's some pretty big games that use it. Brotato. Never played Brotato, but apparently a lot of people have. Those are just games that do cosmetics and skins. There's also DLC and... Wait, so what is this? Oh no, this is just for Skillet. I'm stupid. But yeah, those are all games though that use Godot Steam, I think. There's a big list in here somewhere that shows all the games that use Godot Steam. Where is it? It's in the documentation, I think. I still haven't put my game in here. I need to do that. Where is it again? Games, yeah. But yeah, there's so many games. A games. B games. It's pretty insane. I need to get Starground added down in S games. Among the likes of Screaming Head and Seedlings and Skillet. What? But yeah. There's a lot of S games. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Close all that. But yeah, this FD error. I've tried to look into this problem before. There are some fixes for some people, but I think I tried to fix it one time and it just keeps happening again, so I'm just like, whatever, you know? I don't care anymore. Alright, so now on the quest board, we have to update the buttons and stuff in here. So on set active quest, I'm gonna have to move this button away from the main list of things and move it over to a different section that's like accepted quests. Probably. A lot of things start with S, that's true. Sprites, sound, scripts, scene, shaders. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, S is a pretty popular letter. Sprites, themes. Themes is not S. How many S's do I have in the project? Well, I have a lot, because anytime it's more than one thing, there's going to be an S. Like translations, entities, effects, items, misc, quests, regions, research, shop, skins, spawner, unlocks. It's insane. Everything's got an S these days. All right. I've got to lock in. I gotta make the questing work. I'm tired and don't want to, but I have to. Okay. So, here's our quest board. When we accept a quest, what I want to happen is it gets rid of it from the current rotation of quests and then moves it down here into a active quest list. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So we have list right here, and this is gonna have scroll container and items and blah blah blah. Probably just gonna go ahead and add it into items here. So we're gonna add an H separator. Just keep that in there for now. By default, that .modulate.a is 0. And then down in here in populate, we're gonna say not just add child, but can we say dot? Move to front. Okay. So no move to back? Okay. So child node is button to index 0. So hopefully that should keep all of these buttons above this H separator. Let's go ahead and double check. Oh yeah, it's gonna turn invisible though. All right, so that works. And then what we're gonna do is whenever a quest and populate has already been completed. So we do all those. And then what we're gonna say in here is as long as our player does not contain that active quest. So I'm just thinking here how I'm going to keep track of all that. Have a nice updated list of our active quests. I'll probably have to do that as an RPC or something, which is no big deal. So let's go to our active quests. Completed quests. And then we're going to have our active quest IDs. It's just an array. I might have a limit to the number of active quests you're allowed to have. I probably will. I mean, in that case, we could probably just sync this dictionary and array. Although I do worry, though. I imagine we'll run into issues with that eventually. So I'll probably just have a list of the active quest IDs. But no, see, that's the thing. I need to know if it's the exact same quest or not. So we're probably just going to have to sync active quests, which is unfortunate. It'll be fine. So now we're just going to double check if global.active player. Also, we're going to say if is multiplayer authority. If not multiplayer authority, then don't populate. So if we have an active player, global.active player is what we need to say is if global.active player active quests has I, then we want to just say continue. So that should stop any buttons that we already have from being populated in the list. So down in here, when we say try add quest, we can do all this stuff. And just for now, I'm going to say repopulate the list on the server. So if I say kill enemies and click accept, okay. I have to make sure and populate I'm actually emptying out the entire list. Get children. I'd say if I is a button, I.queueFree. Let's try this again. Yeah, so now you can see since I accepted those quests, they go away. This is going to crash if I try and click on that. But yeah, anyways. Looks like it's working. And then eventually you just complete all the quests and then there's nothing in there. Okay, so that's not supposed to be breakable. We'll have to fix that. Let's go ahead and just load back in. This should update once a day. I don't know if that's actually set up, though. I'll have to double check. Let's just go make sure this is working again. So bop. Kill enemies, accept. Accept. Yeah. Then this button will change if we already have it in the list away from accept into like discard. So it'll get rid of it forever. Of course, there's a chance that quest shows up again later on, you know. So down in Triad Quest, when we populate again, and then whenever we say set active quest, okay, so right here we're gonna say our action button dot text, depending on what kind of quest this is. So new quest, we're gonna say if global.active player.quest.has new quest, and we'll say something in there, else it'll be accept or discard. Right, and then also whenever we say populate, or just down in here when we say try add quest, I'm gonna go ahead and do all that, and then I'm also gonna say redo set active quest to active quest. Let's see if this works. So kill enemies, accept, now it says discard. Good. So our quest is to kill Spore. Nah. I don't know why these are all gather items. That I just get very unlucky, or lucky, I guess. Here, let's double check that everything is good here in our generate available quests. Okay, so it is connected to on day change, so I think we just got a very rare chance for all 5 quests to be gather items. And then this is the other thing too, is if you've already accepted a quest, it's like permanently attached to you. Even if the day changes, your quest won't go away. So I think that's a good middle ground between like having unlimited quest limit and I guess quest resetting every day. Let's just go double check this again. And then the next part is going to be making it so that the quests that we already have accepted actually appear in the list. And if one of those quests are completed, like we've completed the objectives, then we can go ahead and this text will change from discard into complete. So now if we go ahead and say, what was it, time set? Oh no, it's a /time 600, I think. Should instantly change the day over, yeah. So now we can accept 5 more. So the problem with this whole thing, as per usual, is how we're going to make it all work with multiplayer. Because the problem is, for the list of quests, I need to cross-reference it with the current active quests on the player. But it's kind of hard to do that. Just trying to think of how we want to do that. I mean, I could have the client send a request back to the server to generate a list of the buttons that need to exist. and then send it back. That doesn't seem super great. What I really need to do is just keep track of what quests are active in the player on the client. And then everything will kind of work with each other. The list of objectives and everything. So we're probably going to have to do a little bit how we did it with like the land tiles. Obviously, I can't send every single land tile over as one packet because we'll just instantly hit our limit. But I could do it whenever something changes, like just one at a time. So whenever a quest over here is accepted, it'll send that data back to the player and say, hey, you now have this quest, you know, the client player. So it'll always keep like the true version of it on the server, but the client will get like a copy just so that they can reference it. It's probably going to be the way to do it. Because then the UI will work all fine. It'll like be like, okay, I know what quests are active and what's supposed to show up here. So that's probably what we'll do. Yeah. I imagine. Yeah, questing is complicated. It's a lot more complicated than other things. You know, even just like a shop. Like, it's... I know this song. No way, that's crazy. You know, a shop is pretty straightforward. It's like, okay, you trade in an item, remove this item from inventory, add a new one. Like, that's it. The code is simple and straightforward. Or for something like questing, there's so many little bits that go into it. Because you've got to make all the UI make sense. Then you've got to have a way to actually track the current progress of that quest. You've got to do the initial setup of that quest of like, you know, choosing what details of the quest is like, how many enemies and what are the rewards and all that stuff. And that's just like the first part. And then there's also the whole side of it of accepting the quest and receiving items, discarding quests, showing current available quests versus active quests. You know, it gets pretty complicated. But we'll get it eventually. Bootfish. Has anybody caught a bootfish, guys, like without cheating? I'm just honestly curious to know. Because I have no idea if it's even possible, I'm not gonna lie. I do want to add more fish. I think also what the quest board is great for is a way to tie things together a little bit more too. Yeah. I don't blame you. I think it might be impossible. I mean, nothing's impossible, but I don't know. It's pretty hard. Yeah, what I was gonna say was that questing is nice because we can do all sorts of different kinds of quests. We could do fishing quests and dungeon quests and automation quests and whatever, right? And then on top of the random quests that we get, we could also do like NPC quests. And maybe for some NPC quests, you actually have to go talk to the NPC to tell them that you've completed the quest. Something like that. I'll have to see. Max did? Did he? He caught a bootfish? Because that's insane if he did. Usually when we play Stardew Valley, I'm the fish guy. Or at least one of them. So I feel like if I can't, then I don't know how Max was able to. I never bought a fishing license on this save. Why can't I purchase it? Oh, that's odd. It's because it thinks like it needs an inventory slot. Not a huge deal, but should probably fix that. Let's see if any of these are bootfish. Well, not this guy. Ooh. It's so rare to get the bootfish, dude. It's the most legendary fish. I mean, it'd be significantly easier, I'm sure, the bigger reel, so... If I were to catch the bootfish, that would be the way to do it, you know? But why does his text start fading out before he's done talking? Might need to fix that. I don't think it's supposed to do that. It's probably just because I have it all set up for these other guys that have shorter goodbye texts. Probably same with him. Yeah, pretty much. Kill them all. Kill every last one. I can see all the signals happening down there. So that means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 active quests. Pretty crazy. Oh, kill him. Oh yeah, guys, by the way, little sneak peek. Achievements are in progress. They've all been planned out. We're starting to draw them now. So yeah. Hopefully we can get those all ready to go for the next content update. I'm still conflicted on whether I'm going to do another smaller update before then. I'm probably gonna wait. Bootfish is one of them. I don't actually think it is. I should probably add that to the list. I guess I haven't made that an achievement because I don't know if it's possible. That's the thing. And I don't want to make an achievement that you can't get, because then this just kind of sucks, right? Yeah, I'll give you guys a little minor preview of a little teaser of some of them. So we have it broken up into different categories. There's going to be automation, dungeon, farming, economy, and then secret hidden ones. He did? Okay. I still need to fix that bug. Well, it must be possible then. Okay, so here's one. For automation. Going places. Place over 1,000 conveyor belts. Or for dungeon. Now I am become death. Kill a boss with a nuclear bomb. You know? There's Zootropolis, which I don't know if this one is feasible, but it requires you to spawn or hatch over 999 animals. Let's actually test that and see if it's something that you can even do. I mean, it should be theoretically possible. Most of them will probably die off, but you could have an inventory of 1,000 items, 1,000 eggs, and just hatch them all in quick succession. How do you escape the nuclear bomb if you can't escape the room? I think you can place the nuclear bomb in the corner and it hits the boss but doesn't hit you. So I think it'll be fine. Okay, so we got our macro bear eggs. Let's make a fence. We're going to build it. Let's just build them down here. No idea if this is gonna work. Then a fence gate. All right, here we go. Okay, the issue though is they're gonna immediately start dying. So I need to give iron, ingot. I really have to plan ahead for this one. So we're gonna put a trough right there, and we have to make sure that this is fueled with plenty of materials. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a vault. Put that right there, and then do 2 movers moving into it. And then we just need a bunch of moon grass. 1980. Set the point of 87. Oh yeah, it's 1980 for each slot on a vault. I forgot. It's a lot more than that, actually. So we need a lot of moon grass. This is going to be an interesting experiment, isn't it? Alright, so that should be really fueled up. None of these guys should immediately die. Really what we need for this is probably an auto clicker. Actually, isn't there a cooldown though? There is. Oh no. The only thing with this achievement that I'm thinking is it might be, I don't know about performance. Spawning in 1,000 animals. Might be really, really slow. When I try extracting Starground, ask me if I want to download the GD extension plugins. Yes, do that. I think there's a couple, there's like maybe 1 or 2 plugins that I have installed in the project. I don't actually think I use any of them anymore. I might get rid of those at some point. But yeah, include those with the project. Dude, we're not even close. We're like 50 guys. This would be an insane achievement. I mean, I guess it's not having a concurrent, you know, 999 animals. It's just in total extract or hatch 999, right? You can already see how much food they're consuming. It's like every second they're consuming a moon grass. Probably even faster than that. I'm surprised the game hasn't slowed to a complete crawl yet. This is what it's like in Minecraft when you like spawn in 1,000 chickens. Or every once in a while there's a bit of a lag spike. Like that right there. I don't know why it randomly lags like that. It's kind of odd. This is like my Minecraft server. It's like these, yeah. There's just so many of them. It's gonna take so long to place down 1,000. What? I think what might be faster is to say /create res scenes. It's too slow. Okay, well, clearly, eventually, the macro bears start to slow everything down, so... Now if I, like, break this fence, they're all gonna shoot out, you know? How, like, chickens do in Minecraft. Hey, MBG! Thank you so much for the sub. There's the confetti. Thank you very much. Kill them? Yeah, I think it's time. Oh! There's so many. It's probably against the Geneva Conventions right now, guys. Ah, there we go. It's just when I go over in that corner, it gets really slow. I don't know why. What about this corner is so slow? Well, now it's speeding up. I think there's still a bunch of them in this corner or something. Oh yeah, there's a bunch in the corner. Okay. That's why it was so slow. Well, these guys are all just gonna go starve now, so it's fine. Anyways, we're just talking about achievement stuff for a little bit. Achievements are in progress, so... that's pretty epic. There's one for hatching over 999 animals, so... we were just kind of messing around to see if it's possible. Technically, it's possible. But, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we got a whole bunch. I'm not going to spoil all of them, especially not the secret ones, because obviously it's supposed to be secret. But yeah. But it'll be fun. I've been wanting to do achievements for a long time. Also, wasn't able to attend last stream. Saw the notification about Minecraft server. Yeah. We started a new Minecraft server. It's a pretty light pack. All it is, just a create mod, 2 magic mods, Malum and Ars Nouveau. I haven't really messed with those two before, Ars Nouveau or Malum. So, yeah, just it's been fun. Just a light little mod pack. Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd be totally fine with you joining. If anybody is interested in hopping on, it's probably okay. I'll double check with everybody and just make sure it's fine, but should be okay. Yeah, it's just a nice little light mod pack. It's got create mod, which has been fun. I've been messing with that a lot. Tinker's Construct. But that's pretty much it for content. Content-wise, we got 4 mods. Create, Tinkers, Ars Nouveau, and Malum. Yeah, it's like not really my server. I mean, I'm hosting it, but it's not like it wasn't my idea to start it or anything, so I don't know if I have the authority to just add people whenever I feel like it. But I'll go ahead and ask. I'm sure it's probably fine. But yeah, if anyone is interested, let me know. You know, it is running off my own IP, so I probably won't invite anybody that I don't trust completely. But yeah. Mr. Chip, yeah, no problem. I can go ahead and just send a DM now. Whoa, what's going on in content pings? Oh, Dead by Daylight? Crazy. Okay. Well, we might be raiding, wait, no, we're not. Oh? Well, guys, I'm going crazy. Okay, no, they're just streaming. Okay, never mind. Alright, anyways, yeah, I guess this achievement might be feasible, But we'll have to make it so it's probably just 999 animals in general, instead of being hatch 999. Because then what we can do is, like, you can just breed these guys, right? We can hold some moongrass in our hand, or we don't need to hold it, but... And then just go up to these guys and feed them, and then they're all gonna breed and duplicate. Right? So that's gonna be a much faster way of generating new creatures. So I think that'll be the play. This dude is freaking out. No, we're not ending stream or anything yet. We're just chatting about stuff. I was just looking at Discord. I was we're not raiding out yet or anything. That would be a pretty short stream. I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I'm glad that rain in Starground is so performant. In Minecraft, it always runs terrible. Okay, anyways. Let's get out of here so that there's not a billion guys. Also, there's a couple errors that were thrown. So this is inside tree stuff that might be related to perhaps the corpses of the macro bears. Yeah. Remember always turn off rain in Minecraft? I remember back when I had a really bad PC. I was playing on a server. Like a public server. And it sucked because it was a fun server. But it just slowed to a crawl when it started raining. And so I started to get really fed up. I was like, man, this is unplayable. Yeah, I don't really have that issue anymore. I probably didn't even have a real graphics card back then. I probably was like on an integrated CPU or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was a server for Mike7493. I used to be a big fan. Man. But this guy, just Minecraft. You may know him by Tornado Survival. Tornado Survival went hard. I don't know why this channel, or this person in particular, like, I wanted to watch his videos. I don't know. I think maybe it was just because it was so, like, raw that it almost felt like I was vicariously playing through him. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, he barely uploads anymore. He did start up a new server, Avius. It was actually that server. But it was like a long time ago. It was like back when he first started it, which was like over 10 years ago, probably. Which is insane. But yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that server's not running anymore. Yeah, I watched a lot of MC channels back in the day, even before I could play, yeah. I always used to watch a lot of like mod reviews and stuff, because I was too stupid to install mods. Also, we got ads. Start in just a minute, guys, my apologies. I was very stupid and didn't know how to do mods, so I would just watch people review mods and be like, whoa, that's crazy. So... And then I remember one time, I don't know how I did it, but I accidentally deleted my entire .minecraft folder trying to install mods. And it was a travesty. But the goats, my mom called Mojang and asked if they could help. And I think they remoted into my PC and found my deleted saves. It was probably just in my recycle bin, but the fact that they, like, you know, they didn't have to do that. Yeah. No, it's kind of awesome, though. They got all my saves back. Yeah. There's no way I would go down like that with Microsoft these days, you know? I mean, that was because Mojang was a private company. They actually had good customer support. But yeah. It was pretty cool, though. Yeah, it's insane. That's so stupid. I probably like saw somewhere I had to delete meta inf, so I just accidentally deleted my entire Minecraft folder. Yeah, right. You have to delete, unzip the jars, delete meta inf. Yeah, that's probably what I ended up doing. But I didn't realize what I was actually supposed to delete, so I just deleted the whole thing like an idiot. Yeah. Kind of sad sometimes looking at both channels because most have either stopped uploading or do videos once in a while. They get like 1,000 views. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of old Minecraft YouTubers and stuff are washed up. It's crazy. Most of them are like either just gone or have converted into like Fortnite and Roblox channels, you know? So it's too bad. I still watch a Captain Sparkles video every once in a while. Cause he still plays Minecraft. I mean, yeah, his views are way down or whatever, but he's still the same person. And I think that's not a lot of people are like that. Yeah, I watched like episode 2 of this, but I was just like, after a little while I just stopped. Sometimes these series with each episode is like almost 2 hours. I can't keep up. But yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think like it always sucks seeing people get corrupted. But it's nice just to see that some people are still just the same person. Yeah. Now you're the one making the games? Yeah, that's crazy. Love watching a modded series from once in a while. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Man, I really enjoyed like the old Mionite series and stuff. It's too bad that that's done. I know there's like a little sequel thing that happened, Myonetian Isles. Oh, that was the one that they did with like hardcore. There was a like a new one, I think, that started up at one point. But the thing I always loved about the Mionite series is that the episodes he did were edited down. It wasn't just like, here's 3 hours of raw gameplay footage. Like, it was like a nice little 30-minute thing. And it was great. I always had a good time watching it because I'm like, okay, I get to watch this for 30 minutes and then yeah. It was always epic. Oh, and I remember he had that orange, he made a house. I think it was out of birch, and then someone turned it into acacia. It's crazy. Yeah, that was a fun series. I did enjoy that one. Because it was like, I think it was modded, but... Actually, no, it wasn't modded, was it? But the thing that made it really cool was like the lore and like the... It was like an active universe, you know? There were like canon events that were happening and stuff. I always really enjoyed that. I think it made it really fun to watch. Because you'd like watch the next episode and it's like, what? This guy has been gifted this item? Or like you'd always... Like some people had like the god items and stuff with like knockback 10 and it's like, whoa. I don't know. It was always just fun. Still great MC YouTubers, but nostalgia just hits differently. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, I don't even know if going back and watching one of those old series would even be fun. Because I think part of it is that it's fun in retrospect. I only think it was fun because it was when I was 10 years younger. But now, I don't know. I don't know if it would hit quite the same, you know? But yeah. I don't know. Anyways. Rewatch some, but sometimes you get hit with the reality that your memories seem more fun than the real thing. I know. Yeah. I remember they did a Trollcraft. That one was pretty fun. Man, he had a crazy base setup on that one. Like everything automated. Because that one had that mod with the ore flowers or whatever, the ore crops. So it got insane. You can just grow whatever you want, so. But yeah. You know. How are we gonna keep track of whether this quest is completed or not? Okay, so when these are first generated, it has a list of all the rewards and the requirements and everything. But I need to keep track of which ones are done. Right? I mean, I guess I can just have that inside of our check quest kill. Our quest checker. I mean, it has a signal for completed. So what I'll have to do is connect up that signal in the player every time that's been emitted. We go ahead and do the quest completion process. Yeah, it definitely gets complicated. This is what I'm talking about, why it's so complicated to do questing stuff. So yeah, what we need to do is say right here, checker dot... So I'll go ahead and say this is type of quest checker. Now I can say checker.completed dot connect to complete quest dot bind data. So I mean that'll work whenever we emit this signal, but how am I gonna know inside of the quest board if there's a reward waiting to be accepted, right? That's the thing. Oh man. It's getting hot. Alexa, fan on. Sorry if I activated anybody's robot. I guess I'm just gonna have to have another list. Because, I mean, we have active quests. And then completed quests. But completed quests is different. That's like a list of total completed quests of like any given ID and then the number. Chuck's on you, I don't have money to have a robot that manages my home. That's fair, that's fair. I just have the dot. The dots are pretty cheap. That was only like, what? 20 or 30 bucks? And then I guess you have to get all the gizmos that go with it. You have to get the smart outlet for my fan. But it wasn't too bad. I imagine it's a lot more expensive in different countries. No, it's not really too bad, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, it probably depends on the country, right? But, I got like a pack of 3 outlets for 20 bucks or something. They're all smart. All it is just an outlet that you plug it into, and then you can hook it up with the Amazon app. And then she can control it, turn it on and off and stuff. That's nice. I mean, I think the way to go is like to get the smart switches so that you can still use it as a normal light switch, but you also have the option of asking she who shall not be named to turn the lights on and off and stuff, you know? Same with like the outlets and everything. It's just, it's nice. You don't have to get the Amazon ones. I mean, I don't know. I think the Amazon ones are nice though. They just work. Some of the other ones are weird to set up. Like my smart lights. I wish what I did instead of getting smart bulbs, I wish I just got a smart light switch, right? And just install that into the wall. These smart bulbs are okay, and it does let me do RGB, but I never do RGB. I don't want my room to be blue. So, it's kind of a waste. But oh well. Just think of automating my blinds to open up in the morning. Oh yeah. That would be cool. I would love to do stuff like that if I could like automate my windows opening and closing. You could also make your own. Like I could get a little actuator, hydraulic piston or whatever. And then I can attach it on the wall, then onto the window frame, and then like you can do your own IoT stuff with like a little Arduino or something. There's a whole Arduino has like a whole page for it. They have like a dashboard you can access and hook up to your Arduinos. It's actually really cool. It would be fun to just buy a big pack of a bunch of Arduinos and just make a bunch of little gizmos around my house, you know? Maybe I'll do that someday. All right, decompiled the game, ran it and it worked. How should I start making the mod? Yeah, so what you want to do for making the mod, you can make it inside of Starground and it would work, but you just have to be wary of how you're going to configure your export settings. So in export, what you're going to want to do, the main things, first off on right here on scripts, this has to be exported on text mode. The reason I do that is for checking for malware. Because if it's in text mode, it means I can just straight up read the scripts as text. And so what I do is I scan through every single script as I'm loading a mod, and I make sure it's not using any of the dangerous functions like OS and stuff. And that usually solves most of the ways people can do bad things. It's not a perfect solution, but it's better than nothing. So set that to text mode. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure the projects that you're exporting are only specific ones. So you can say export selected scenes. And then you can just go through and click on the things you actually want to export, right? And then once you do all that, yeah, you have to create the mod info.json. There's a template project that is in here, by the way. If you go to templates example 1, this is just a Godot project you can open up. Now this is very out of date, or yeah, info.json, but you can grab a couple things from this, like the export settings, then also this info.json. This is just a JSON format file. It's pretty straightforward, but you have your format, your script. What this is for is it's for your initial load script. So it lets you call functions that's inside of the mod API class. So here's another thing that's really important, and probably the main way you're going to be creating a mod is mod API. So what this is it's a big list of a bunch of different functions that let you integrate your content. So stuff like add building entry. What that'll do is automatically put your building into like the system so that it shows up in the building table or the building menu and all that stuff. Same with shops and effects and recipes and regions, research, item, entity, loot tables, player UI, commands. So there's a bunch of them for that. And then you also have creating the entries, so stuff like create item entry. These can be kind of helpful if you just want to quickly like bam, name, sprite, and any special tags, but you don't have to use those ones. And then all of these ones below that are helper functions. Excuse me. None of them are technically required, but they're extremely useful and I highly recommend using them. So you can just access all of these, and use them for whatever you want. Build melee sprite. Get current events. Generate skin preview. So then the kind of way that this will work, let's say you want to add a modded building into the game. So you go ahead, create your building scene inside of your resource folder. You're going to go ahead and create 2 other files. You want to create your info.json right here. And then the other file you want to create is a script that will let you load this stuff in. So it doesn't matter where it is. I just have it in here, I think, somewhere. Is it in awesome mod? Oh, yeah. So all it is just right in here. There's a script called loader.gd. And this is what it does. So you just call initiate. And then you can say create item. So this is adding in an item called funny item. You tell it what resource or what image to use, and then say mod API.add item entry. And then for a building, you configure the data for the building. You can look at the buildings table in the project as reference, and any of the other tables. So you just look in here and be like, okay, this is kind of how you set it up. You can copy over this and tweak it and change the values a little bit. Just save that as a variable, and then say mod API add building entry. And then you specify an ID and then your data. And then also I would recommend calling this if you want the building to show up on multiplayer. This add spawner entry. Should probably do that. Yeah, I think the easiest way to create a mod is like just copy something already in the game. I mean, that's how a lot of people make Minecraft mods. You just say like, okay, I'm going to make a building that crafts things or kind of does the same thing. I'm just going to copy all the code for the crafter, for the workbench or whatever it's called, crafting table. And then just tweak it and change it a little bit. And that's what I would probably recommend for Starground 2. And then on your final export settings, I'm not going to do it because it'll mess up all my settings here, but you just say change this mode to export all selected scenes in the project right here, and then just select the files that you've created. So yeah. And then if you go through that process, you're welcome to send me the zip that gets created. On your actual export, make sure you do export here, PCK zip, and then export as a zip file. That's the format for mods. And then I can load up that zip file and just double check that your mod works and stuff if you want. Just let me know. Okay. Oh, questing is a nightmare, guys. Well, let's just start doing it step by step. This is the classic problem of like looking at a problem as the whole. We just got to take it step by step. So we got this checker. Let's make it so that it keeps track of the progress. So don't want to track that inside of the script. Let me think here. Well, okay, this is the thing. I need to know where I'm going to track the current progress. Right? Because we push back this quest into active quests, which is good. But the problem is, yeah, I need to attach some data to that quest. So we'll probably just create a new key inside of this, which is progress. And then just set it up that way. Ooh. Oh, man. Probably how I'll do it. And since this is a static referenced data, if I add any data to it, it'll update for everything, which is good. Okay. So this is just for generating it. That's all that script does. I mean, honestly, maybe I should just merge these scripts together. But I don't know. The only issue then is I can't call the function in here without all the other stuff happening. It's fine. Let's just keep it separate. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into here. Yeah, we're gonna do it inside of generate quest, or not, or in check quest. And then on ready, we're gonna say data at the index progress, right? And it's probably gonna be a dictionary. I'll just set this to a value. So I'll say it starts off as 0. And then on update, we're gonna say if entity.id, I'm gonna say entity is equal to data dot info.id, I believe is where it is. Let's go ahead and make sure. Yeah, data dot. Okay. Dot amount ID. So what is the ID that's being set here? Because I thought there was. We'll go up here. Oh, it doesn't say anymore. Well, let's go to where it's first generated again. So it's going to have a quest ID and then quest data. So I want to be accessing. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. So we have quest ID. That's going to pick a random quest. And then quest info. Right here. .id is quest ID. Okay. And then quest data is just that. So that should be okay. And then down here, I say quest data is script.data. Or quest info.quest data. Okay, so the generate script this is getting is just going to be inside of this quest data thing here. So ID and rewards, I think, are completely separate. So if we look inside of generate quest, yeah, it's going to be setting ID and amount and objective and all that stuff inside of the quest data. So I'm just going to keep that as the dynamic thing that changes. So if we go back into here, we're going to go ahead and say instead of this being in here, we're going to say at index quest data. And that'll be better. So progress will be 0. Yeah. And now we can say if entity.id is equal to data.questinfo.id, then we say data quest data progress is plus equal to 1. And then we just have to check if that is greater than or equal to data, quest data, amount, then completed.emit. That means we've killed enough people. And then after this, I'm just going to print data just to make sure it's all good and up to date. Okay, so what that should now do is we'll have that data attached. And it should keep adding progress onto that quest. And as soon as it hits the required amount for this quest, which in this case will be anywhere from 5 to 15 randomly, then it'll be like, okay, quest complete. At least that's the theory. Will it actually work? I don't know. Let's go try it out. And I'm going to be printing it out down here. And instead of actually printing that there, let's go ahead and just do it in the player to make sure it's all like connected up properly. So in here on complete quest, we're going to print quest completed. All right, so let's go ahead and go accept a quest. Hopefully I can work out all the kinks in this system. Let's do one that's easy. Okay, there's 2 for killing Spore. So I guess let's go kill Spore. So quest monitoring started. Let's just go God mode. Oops. Actually, we don't have to. Let's just make it easier on ourselves. He's gonna start flying away, though. Oh, okay. That's okay. Quest info is not valid. Apparently. Interesting. So what is it supposed to be? Before we do that, let's print data. So we have ID. Oh, it's not quest info, it's quest data. Yeah, I don't know why I'm stupid. And then last peer. Oh, we just have to say if body.last peer ID is not equal to -1. Or no, that's applying damage. Whoops. Okay, we should be okay now. Okay, it's still complaining about that one. The comments in the mod API file. I can send you over the modern mod API file. Yeah, unfortunately, something that sucks about decompiling, the only downside is it does not include comments when you decompile. I guess Godot just doesn't pack comments. I wish there was like an option to do that or something. But I can go ahead and send you a copy just for reference. I don't know why this keeps saying it's... So over here, we say hit body is player. Then in hit body. I guess owner's just a null value. That's what's happening here. Okay. We have to say if owner is player. Because I forgot those guys also spawn projectiles. Okay, I'm hoping it'll say in output that we've completed the quest. Quest completed. So we're good. Now the game is like, okay, you did it. You completed the quest. So that's it. And you can see this progress value ticked up to 1, and since our amount was 1, then it's like, all right, you're good. So that's a good first step there. Now, what we can do is whenever a quest has been completed, now we know it's been completed because our progress is equal to the amount. So when we go back to our quest station, we can now double check that value and be like, oh yeah, this quest is completed, so you can take rewards, you know, accept rewards. Okay, cool. So anyways, let me send you over the mod API stuff. I'm just gonna send you over this whole file. I don't think I've added anything in here since the last update. But we'll see. Where is it? It's all these UIDs. There it is. I can't remember if I... Oh yeah, no, I have Steam. There you go. I've sent over the mod API that should include all of the comments. So yeah. Yeah, I do apologize about that. I don't know why it gets rid of the comments. It might have to do with my export settings for the project maybe. The only issue though is I would prefer to have smaller files. Right? Text is nice, but it's gonna make the project bigger. So I don't know. I might just keep it where it's at. I figured a little bit of a barrier to decompiling is probably a good thing. Just so that you don't end up with people just straight up copying everything without any effort. Or like bots scraping the code and stuff, right? But yeah. Should be okay. Okay, so what's the next thing we need to do for questing? I would really like to have the little thing on the side that actually shows our active quests. So I might do that. So the way this is all set up, we've got our tutorial up there in the corner. So I want to just have like that stuff, the quest info, be visible right here. One of these days, what I'm probably going to do is make the right side of the screen a V-box so that I can have all this stuff sorted properly. Like at the right heights and stuff, but it's okay. Just for now, I'm going to go ahead and plop a text label in there. It's right in between tutorial. And we're going to say fit content. Layout, top left. I don't know why the size is insane. Then we're just gonna say center right. Well, we can actually give it like a set size. I mean, it can be pretty wide. I feel like 256 would be okay. I wish I could have this horizontally stretch and stuff. I don't know if there's a way to do that. Maybe if it's just on expand mode. But then it just turns into a big line. Yo, what's up, Ace? How's it going? Oh, I just have to turn off auto wrapping. Can I turn on auto wrap mode to word only or something? Arbitrary. I guess we'll just turn off auto wrapping for now. Alright, so anyways, this should now stay to the right of the screen. If Godot would stop freezing. Get a heart attack out here. Okay. So that's where our text will be. Alright. I guess this should be under the battle pass. That doesn't matter. This will be quest tracker. Now what we've got to do, it should be relatively straightforward, is in process. Is this inside the player? Yeah, I guess so. If his authority, we say quest tracker dot quest tracker dot text is going to be equal to, what we need to do is say this dot clear for iron active quests. So we're going to say text is equal to quest dot quest data dot objective. And you have to say dot append text. Just want to see if that works. So it should just have a list of the things we need to do. It won't show the progress, but we're gonna do that obviously. Let's start it up again and see if it works. Saving the scene. All right. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Open the autosave. Let's go. Space Hub. Hello. Let's accept quest. Kill 5 boring. Yeah, there we go. So now it shows up on the right side as like a little list of objectives or whatever that we have to do. I don't know where my freaking oh, I think I got rid of it. No. Minimap. Did I break the minimap? Or is it just that it doesn't show up in the Space Hub? It just doesn't show up in the Space Hub. Okay. I didn't realize that. I guess I never thought about it. Alright, but anyways, now it'll show a list of all our things here. We need to make sure that that's doing a new line. So is there like a pen text new line or something? Whatever, we'll just add a new line at the end. Saving. Alright, now that should be good there. So then what we're going to do is have like big text and little text underneath that's like 0 out of whatever. Like the actual number of the objective. That's only if there is objective text or whatever. Progress. So let's go ahead and format this better. I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna say objective 0, and then new line our number out of our other number. Hey, Hypnotic, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How's it going? What do you got going on today? Good day, good dance. How's it going, everyone? Internet kept dropping in and out? No, that sucks, yeah. I hate when that happens. It's the worst. I've had that happen a lot with, like, not specifically internet, but just, like, OBS freaking out. And early third of viewers, yeah, that's too bad. Well, I hope your next streams go a little smoother. Yeah, that's like the worst. I hate when that happens. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know why it's better now or what happened, but I used to have this issue with OBS. It might have been related to my internet, but it would just like randomly in the middle of the stream just stop working. And then it would end the stream and then ping everybody again that it started back up. It's the worst, man. It's been happening all week. Oh, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, hopefully they get that all worked out. Well, besides the strife of the internet, what else have you been up to today? Let's see, quest on. So this is going to be our progress value. Or else going to have quest dot quest data dot amount. All right. So this big text here will be like font size, like big, like 24. And this one over here will be like font size is like small, like 16. Let's see what that looks like. Much UI work today. It's got a font picked out, buttons looking nice. Yeah, it's all coming together. Awesome. That's sounding good. Monitor going over here. Yeah, we're messing around with a whole bunch of stuff. Right now we are working on implementing. There you go. That's working, but it's huge. I should probably make it a little smaller. We're working on implementing a quest system. It's something I've been wanting to add to Starground for quite some time. It's just complicated because there's a lot of elements that kind of go with it. You've got to like deal with all the like just the initial generation of the quests. How do you know what values and stuff? So you have to kind of set up a script for all that, and then you also have to have a script for checking when the objectives are actually hit. You know, whenever a guy dies, you have to update the value that's being stored. And then on top of that, we have to display our active quests. We have to have a UI for accepting new ones and retrieving the rewards from completed ones, and it's just... And then on top of all of that, we've got to make it work for multiplayer and make it moddable. It's a lot of work. This is one of the reasons why questing has taken so long, because it's just the design of it is a lot of work. I don't want to just jump into it and not really plan things out, so. But yeah, for mod stuff, I believe that Abra is working on a mod right now, so we've been kind of chatting about that a little bit. And of course, talking about modding stuff in the context of the questing. But let's see if this works. So whenever I kill an Antoid Husk, it should update that value to 1. Yeah. So, I mean, it's looking good. So thank you for the spin. So it does work. I guess the question is just how moddable it is. That's always going to be the thing. It's really easy for me to add questing and just make it like a hard-coded thing, but if I want people to be able to mod in quests, it's gonna have to be funny. It's unfortunate, but it's probably a good idea, I suppose, to do it. Just loading into rooms looking for enemies. It's like no enemies. Here's some guys. Yeah, we'll probably have most quests just be like a static persistent thing. I do have it set up though that some quests will be like time-based. Maybe there's different kinds of quests. Like some quests are just do whenever you want, but then if it's like a time challenge, you get like a reward if you complete it in time. So maybe twice as many items if you complete it within a couple minutes or something. I don't know. But I think it would be nice just for adding in a little extra challenge for the people that want that. So, anyways, this seems to be working just fine. Let's go test it out on Tephra. How to make your game unmoddable. Spaghetti code and hard coding 99.9% of everything. Yeah. That is exactly what I hope to avoid. Okay, so I only have to kill 5. Boring. I've got the quest set up pretty, like, randomly. Like with the rewards and stuff, at least. And I think that's probably a good thing. What that means is that, like, people actually have to look at what the quests are. It's not just immediately, like, you know, oh, kill enemy quest, boom, accept, you don't have to think about anything. It actually matters how many enemies do you have to kill, what kind of enemy, you know, how much items do you get from the quest. I think all those things are important things that people have to think about, you know? But you can see as soon as we kill the required number of enemies, down in here in our output, you can see it saying quest completed. So that means it's all set up and good. So now all we have to do is just implement that last bit in our quest board UI. Excuse me. What we have to do for that is just say, like, check, have we hit our quantity goal, and if so, change the button in the... Oh, excuse me. Hiccups. We change the button in the UI to, away from accept or discard into accept reward. Shouldn't be too bad. Oh, Calorius. Oh... The wasp guys are called borings, yeah. I forget all the time too. He is dead. What a fool. Calorius thinks he can beat me at my own game, literally? Alright, anyways. No, I didn't mean to go over here. It's okay. Part of the reason why a lot of times I just run around and randomly do garbage like this is because it's actually really good for just testing for bugs. Especially in a manner like this where it's like weird things can tend to happen. Because I'm in God mode and I'm like skipping past rooms and, you know. Having an icon of the guys next to the names would be cool. Yeah, I definitely do want to do that, and it's actually pretty easy to. Since the objective is BB code, I can just do... If we go inside of... wherever it was, in our initial generation, Because I'm pretty sure I set the... Okay, I guess it's not in here. Oh, no, it is. This is our objective text. So when we say kill, bop, bop, I can just go ahead and add another tag on here. Image. Like this. And then this can be the path to our character sprite. So it should be pretty easy. So we could have an icon associated with each entity. It will be kind of annoying, but, you know, icons are pretty easy, and there's not like a billion entities, so... And if there's no icon for an entity, it just wouldn't show anything. But yeah, it would be nice just so you can tell what kind of enemy it actually is. Just as a little indicator of like, oh yeah, that guy. I've seen that guy before. So I'll probably do that. I'll go ahead and put it on the list. We're going to create a little bit of a list here. Of specifically questing stuff. So hey, I code for food. Thank you for the follow. And this is going to be a list. Or what is it? It's Control L. There we go. So icons for entities would be nice. We need to do like sound indicators, requests, you know. When you complete partial objective, it does a little beep or a little ding or something. And then when you fully complete the quest, it does like a boing, or, you know, whatever. Just little indicator noises. Also, Ahmed, welcome in. We need to get the item gather quest working. Shouldn't be that bad. Now, the only thing with that quest is that literally just grab these items and then you get the reward? Or do we make it so those items get deleted? You know? It's hard to say. I could have it set up so that some quests are not like an objective thing necessarily, like killing enemies, but more of just almost more of a trade, you know what I mean? Where you just insert the items into the quest board, and then it spits out the reward items. Might be good. But yeah. I don't know. Got chapstick all over my thumb, might as well just use it. I want to start learning coding. Any advice on first thing to do? So if you've never programmed anything before, I would probably start by learning like the core like concepts of logic and stuff like that. Getting used to data types, like what is a Boolean and what is a float. The documentation for, if you're planning on using Godot, which is what I'm using, it's a pretty good engine to get started with, so I would probably recommend it. But what you want to do is go to the Godot documentation here, and there is a section called Introduction. Or not Introduction, it's, where is it? Getting Started, and then there's Introduction and Getting Started. So just first off, start with Introduction to Godot, and this just gives you a nice overview of everything, of like a couple different games that have been made in Godot, stuff like that. Yeah, what do I need to know to use it? So this actually has a recommendation for starting the programming, which is CS50. So you could take a look at that. But there's also a good section here, Learn to Code with GDScript. And this is just a very, like, good, simple tutorial on how to get some basic stuff set up. Or where is it? Or it's in your first 2D game, I think, is where you kind of do that. I don't know, there's a bunch of little tutorials in here, like coding the player. It goes over, like, so you're gonna do this and add a player node and then create a script. Yeah, I'd recommend just reading through all of this getting started section. Introduction to Godot, step-by-step stuff. Scripting languages, this is step-by-step. So which language should I use? If you're a beginner, we recommend GD script. And yeah, you could also check out that CS50 course too. That would just be more of a general, like, for any kind of programming language, not specifically Godot or GD script, so. So I'd put all my scripts and stuff as a child for the loading menu. Should they be separate? So you don't want any of your scripts or anything to be in the project. Or like, you don't want it to be in a scene. Don't add it to anywhere. So basically all you need to do is go ahead and just create a folder in here, just called your mod or whatever, and just drop all your stuff in there, right? All of your data. That'll be your scenes and your scripts and stuff. And then the only other thing that you want to have in here, in like your main project area, would be your info.json file. That has to be a child of this res scene. So. But you don't want to actually drag and drop your things into the game, because then you will be modifying vanilla behaviors, and that's bad because you get conflicts with other mods. So the way to actually integrate your content into the game is with the mod API. So after you've created your scenes and stuff, you want to create one more script inside of here in your folder that you created and call it loader.gd or whatever, it doesn't matter. And in the initiate function of that script, that's where you'll... So here, let me just go ahead and go back to the Starground modding section here. So in the example, I definitely recommend looking at this just for how everything's structured. So you'll just have a folder like this, your mod name or whatever, put all your stuff in here, and you'll also put this loader.gd script. This is like your initiation script. This is how you say, add my building to the game, and add my item to the game, and stuff like that, right? And then the only other thing you'll have, so the only thing you want to put into directly under res is this info.json. This just has the information about your mod. And make sure that you're pointing this script goes to that initial loader script. So in this case it's loader.gd, but it can be called or placed wherever you want. So and then the only things you'll be exporting in your project is this folder with your data and stuff, and that info.json. That's it. Don't export anything else. So if you want to modify base game behavior, you can. But just be aware that it can cause conflicts. Like, let's say you want to change the crafter or whatever to craft faster. You just go into the crafter scene, you change the value, and then over here in your export settings, make sure that the crafter is now included in your export. Any files that you export in your project will override the base game ones. So if you like modify the crafter, change its sprite out, or just make it a different building, you can override the base game crafter that way. Now, of course, be warned, there can be conflict issues. Just something to keep in mind. Yeah, hopefully that helps out. Let me know if you want me to, like, go step by step through all this. I can open up the mod project and, like, show you how I would do it, or since you have the project here, I could just show you how to do it in here step by step if you want. It's up to you. Start with reading introductions following tutorials, but don't stop there and play around with what you have created following the tutorial. Yeah, definitely, like, what I would highly recommend learning is just, like, messing around. Experimenting, just like MBG said, right? That's for me, the best way I've been able to learn things. Because once you start, like, going off on your own and not relying on people telling you what to do, you start to really understand what things do and how they work, right? So just dive into a script and tweak values around and try out random different functions and just mess around. I think that's probably the best way to learn once you kind of understand the basics a little more. People that advise you to start learning basic C++. I mean, C++ is fine. I probably would honestly recommend an easier language. Probably something like Python or GDScript, because GDScript is Python. If you're specifically trying to do game development, then I would say mess around with probably GDScript would be the easiest. But if you're just doing general programming, not specifically game development, then you could probably mess with C# would be easier. C# is just a little more forgiving in my eyes than something like C++. One challenge with C++ that's always hard for people to learn is the fact that like memory allocation and stuff is something that you have to do by hand. And you have to also like free things by hand, and you have pointers. It can be kind of conceptually difficult to understand if you haven't started with something more basic. A lot of people also start out with like Java. I probably wouldn't recommend learning Java at this point though. Honestly, Python is probably the easiest language for you to learn. You can almost write it as if it's in plain English, right? Because you can just say stuff like, if my variable Joe is not Bob, then it does stuff in here. And same with like, if 1 + 2 is equal to 3, and 2 + 3 is equal to 5, then you can do stuff in here. You can be like, print math checks out, or whatever, you know. But it's pretty easy. Python is extremely easy. You don't have to worry about syntax too much. The only thing that matters, like, you don't have to do all your curly braces perfectly. Just make sure that there's a tab and you're set. You're good to go. I've been lost in the sauce with Python GDScript that C++ is horrifying to look at. Yeah. It is pretty crazy. Like, looking at how simple Python and GDScript is, and then C++. Some C++ code is insane. Also, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks for the advice. I appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, exactly right. Like, even if you understand C++ stuff, I can program C++. I've done it before. But I hate it. I hate programming in C++. It's just a nightmare. I'd way rather program in C#. C# is way better to me. C# is basically just C++ 2. That's why it's a sharp, because it's 2 pluses stacked on each other like this, so it makes a hashtag. That's why it's a sharp. So yeah, I would just use C# instead. So we got an ad starting in just a minute. My apologies, gamers. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably rather program in assembly. I haven't ever done anything in assembly, but I've watched some videos on people programming in assembly. It's definitely interesting. I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick, but it's conceptually not that difficult, I feel like, to understand. It's weird. Why is the old version there? The old version of what? Oh, the song? Oh yeah, this is the old one, isn't it? Did I just forget to delete the old one? Let me go double check. Because it's called Lost and Found, right? No. It's My Song. Do you have another one called My Song? I can't remember. What's the new My Song called? Oh, my headphones just turned off. I love it when my headphones turn off, guys. It's so cool. Oh, it's called My Music. I probably just still have my song in here by accident. No, I don't have My Music, unless I need to put an underscore, probably. Nope. I don't have it. Time to go to Bandcamp. So looking at Pico 8. Yeah, Pico 8 looks interesting. I haven't, ever really messed with it. Where is it? Here's My Music. Alright, I'm gonna delete my song and replace with My Music. Download the WAV. There we go. Yoshik replay. Sorry, I keep saying Yoshik. Oshik replay My Music.mp3. Okay, let me restart the overlay. Wait, oh, I opened the wrong thing. Shoot. Oh, yeah, there's a gap issue. I think that's why. Yeah, MVGs, that's exactly what I was going to say. The reason why they typically teach C++ is because it's old and it's very stable. It's practically impossible to ever run into a issue with the language itself. It's always your fault. It's also just like, since it's such an old language, there's a lot of documentation and there's a lot of pre-existing course material for it too, right? There's newer languages like Python. There are some courses that, you know, teach Python and stuff, but it's definitely a newer language when compared to C++, right? So, and Python is higher level. So I think one thing that universities typically do is they try and teach lower level stuff so that you get a better grasp of like the lower level concepts of programming. So that's one of the big reasons. It doesn't mean that C++ is better to program with. I think C++ sucks and I hate it. But it does teach you more core principles than Python. So I mean, it's good to dabble with C++, at least understand the basics. But I think as time goes on and you learn more languages, you start to figure out what language you actually like using. You know, whether that's Python or C# or C even, it doesn't really matter. Or Rust, you know. Or maybe you discover that you like web development stuff more. So you start dabbling with like JavaScript and all that. All the billion offshoots. But yeah, I wish they didn't teach programming starting with C++, because C++ is hard, guys. It's not really like a good language for learning. My first course that I took in university was Java. And Java definitely has quirks, but I think it's a much easier language to learn than something like C++. Because of the garbage collection system, it kind of handles a lot of things for you. And most languages will, right? But yeah. We personally learned Pascal, which is much worse, pretty much similar to those points, yeah. Yeah, dude, the cover art on the old books always goes crazy. First CS back in college was C++, and it's bad enough that I dropped the program. Yeah. Didn't realize until my second semester junior year that the first CS class was actually a weed out class. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Honestly, my first CS class in university was pretty good. Like, it was very informative on all the, like, first steps on everything and what is programming. I think the good thing about my first class I took in university was, like, I mean, at that point I already knew how to program, so it was really easy. I'm just gonna preface with that. I've already been programming in GameMaker for years, so it was like nothing. It's like I think I got like 105% in the class or something, because it's just so easy. I was like, okay, this is like nothing. But what was good about it is, like, it talked a lot about just not the sheer programming, but like design and like the like mental, the like frame that you have to have in your head of how you approach problems. The whole concept of like divide and conquer. I think their mantra was divide, conquer, glue. So basically the concept is splitting up all your problems into tiny problems and then gluing them back together. Right? Which is a good way to think about programming, because that's really what it is. When you're approached with a problem that's too big for you to handle, you just have to turn it into a bunch of tiny ones. It's easy to solve tiny problems. Eventually you break it up into so many tiny problems that you can get through all of them really quickly and easily. So it's just a good way to do it. Yeah, it all just depends on the teacher, you know? That's one of the big flaws of our education system, just in any place on Earth, is that it's so dependent upon how motivated the teacher is to make you learn. I've had some teachers that, even though the class material itself sucked, the teacher was so helpful and enthusiastic that it made it really easy and I actually learned things. And then other classes, it was just a nightmare. Like, yeah, maybe the course material wasn't that hard, but if I ever had an issue or whatever, the teacher didn't help me, and it was a nightmare. That's the only thing that matters. So, if you're going into university, definitely check and see like reviews of teachers. There's one called Rate My Professor. You can just go online and check and like look up the teacher's name, see if they're a good teacher, and if they've gotten really bad ratings, maybe try and get a different, like, you can get the same class but like a different time slot with a different teacher. It depends on the size of the class. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but I recently started dabbling with Odin. I really like it so far. Yeah, that's nice. That's another big thing too. I definitely recommend, like, experiment with a lot of different languages. Mess around with C++ and GDScript and Odin and Rust or whatever, because it helps you figure out what you like and dislike about some languages and just make a more informed opinion about what language you'd like to program with. But yeah. It's by no means a bad class. Professor was very skilled, but labs were taught by a TA that I couldn't understand, and there's a lot that they expect you to grasp quickly. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I had a class a lot like that, which was like a software engineering class. Basically, the whole thing was it's designed to like replicate a production environment of like working at a company or whatever, like Microsoft. But man, it kind of I don't know, kind of sucked a little bit. The problem was that it was like the time that you take that class, it didn't really have a lot of prerequisites. So sometimes you just go into it not knowing what the heck to do, or expecting, like, I guess the problem with that class is it expected you to learn how to do web development even if you've never done it before. And so the entire time I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what these languages are. It was a disaster. Man, yeah, that was a rough one. One of the subjects we will learn, Math 1. Why, yeah, coding gets into some math, okay. Yeah, I mean, math, honestly, you don't really use a lot of math with programming in practice. It depends on the type. I mean, sometimes there are specific things that do require a lot of heavy math. But unless you're going into an extremely specialized field of computer science, like graphics rendering takes a lot of math, you're probably not going to use a lot. If you're just making a game or even a website or whatever, it's mostly, yeah, it's like mostly logic over just math. But you're not going to have to worry about like linear algebra and all this other garbage. It just doesn't get that high level in practice. And even if it ever does, it's like the most basic form of it. Like matrix multiplication. It's literally just multiplying some numbers together. Like, it really isn't that bad. So don't worry so much about the math part of things. The prerequisites of the math that you have to complete to get your degree, it will be so much more complicated than any math you'll actually do in the real world, probably. Now, of course, this is from the perspective of somebody doing game development. Like I said, if you're doing a different kind of programming, like for graphics or something, it does get pretty complicated with the math, but... we had a professor that was horribly bad to students that didn't understand something. It's also the most difficult class of the year, which did not help. Yeah. Yeah, I had a class just like that. It was linear algebra. It was a really complicated math course, and the teacher was so set on traditional methods of teaching, of like everything was pencil and paper. We couldn't do anything online digitally, which, you know, with my university, literally every single class uses Canvas, which is like an online dashboard for submitting assignments and completing tests and all that stuff. But for some reason, we had to be locked in on pencil and paper. It's just awful. And the thing that sucked about it so much is with linear algebra, you have to write so much stuff. So my hand would like cramp up. It was a nightmare. That was the worst class I've ever taken. I'm pretty sure that my university actually stepped in and changed my grade at the end. Because I was failing the class, and then somehow I passed at the end. I doubt it was my teacher. Yeah, I don't know, man. It sucked. No, check Dopro, web dev, Blender fanatic, yeah. Man. It's crazy how much you learn when you actually have fun doing it, right? That's why I love just messing around with that website or screwing around in you know, Blender. That's fun. Dylan wants you to whitelist Max in the MC server. Yeah, I can do that in 1 second. We're probably gonna be ending stream pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, you studied to be a programmer, then the heavy math is probably going to be done by the engineers you're working with. Yeah, exactly. Get that. Told me, why am I learning physics too? And also you're also doing physics? I don't know. You'd have to do physics for programming. I mean, if you're doing... I mean, it might just be a prerequisite. Universities typically have like a list of required credits that you have to get. Like, I had to do a bunch of writing classes and stuff. I don't ever have to really write stuff. Like, you know, I'm not writing novels every day. But you still have to do it. Script I'm looking at now is a little ahead of me. Oh, yeah. This one right here? Or... or a different one? This isn't really anything too complicated. This is just my inventory. This is for the recipe building script. It's for buildings like the crafter and not the researcher, the refiner, the purifier, all those things that you select a recipe on. This is just a function that gets called whenever the recipe for that building has been changed. So it sets the new recipe, and then it retrieves all the data. This is mostly just doing inventory stuff. So it's resizing the inventory to the new number of required slots, which is what it's doing here. If it uses fuel, then it's going to be setting all that stuff. It sets a filter to our global fuel IDs, which is just an array of all the IDs of items that are fuel in the game. And then can insert is, and can take is for movers. So can insert is saying, yes, you can put items into our fuel slot, but no, you cannot take items back out of our fuel slot. If there's any extra resources that can't fit in the new inventory, then it just drops it on the ground. And then this is just setting up our input and output slots. It's looping through our recipe data. So we have an array of our input items and an array of our output items. It just loops through and sets the filter to those items. It's not really as complicated as it looks. It just looks complicated because I'm calling building inventory. All this is just it's our inventory object. It's not too bad. I hope my code isn't too mystical. Okay, well I can go ahead and whitelist Max. Sorry for the wait. Let me do that really quick. Also, MBG, can you resend me your Minecraft username? Or honestly, if you want, just tell me what it is in here. Where did all the stuff go? Did this server close? Some reason, I don't know why it happens, but whenever I go into the remote terminal, it crashes the server. It's really confusing. I need to figure out why that happens. Well, no worries. I'm starting the server up again. My apologies. Last year they had to build a hand of a robot in the first year. That's pretty crazy. I wouldn't worry so much about what other people have had to do and stuff. I mean, it's when it's a group effort, odds are the amount of work you actually have to do is usually not that bad. Hold on, I haven't whitelisted you yet. Okay. I'm gonna go tell Max he's been whitelisted. MG5, or let me whitelist you. Alright, there you go. That was hard. I say try not to get overwhelmed. See the fun in doing stuff like that. Sorry for making the screen black, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, no worries. I have to send you over the pack, so I will do that after stream. I think we're probably going to go ahead and end stream here in just 1 minute. I did start really late. I do apologize. I didn't mean to. But I just got a late start today. And I don't want to wait too long, because I do have to go eat at some point. All right. Well, anyways, we're making progress on this whole questing thing. It's hard and complicated, but it does work, at least partially. We've got the little task list here, and I'm probably going to change that around and make sure it doesn't overlap with other elements, because I imagine as we increase UI scale, it probably starts to overlap. Yeah. So I'm going to change that around, probably make it vertically centered on top. But yeah. Yeah, also Ace, by the way, Dylan is also opt, so Dylan can whitelist people too in game. I don't have to be the one to do it all the time. Not complaining, just informing. I've opt Cleo and Dylan. I wouldn't worry so much about how daunting it is, the idea of building a robot hand. Because this is something really important about programming, is that things will always look really complicated, but when you actually dig into it and understand how those things were done, it's not that bad. Like, for example, just take a look at Starground. At a glance, this is an entire game with lots of systems and things. The idea of making something like this to somebody, especially multiplayer and having modding support and stuff, it is a monumental task. It's pretty hard to just look at something like this and just be like, you know, boom, make Starground. The reason that something like this is possible is because it's broken up into 1,000 little tiny problems. So even though it's extremely daunting, you break it up and you just look at one part, the player. All it is just check for keyboard input, move the player when you press a key. Or something like a building or a conveyor belt. All it is just check for item going into it, push item out. Starground is just any game, any project, anything that anybody programs is just a collection of a lot of solutions to tiny problems. So look at it that way. When you look at something like a robot hand, it's not program a robot hand. It's, all right, figure out how to like read data in and out, which is probably not that bad. There's probably a big instruction list on how to do that. And they probably already give you the robot hand, I imagine. And if they don't literally give you the hand, they probably give you the tools to make the hand or whatever. I wouldn't worry so much about it. You know, you gotta take it step by step. And break up that big problem of making robot hand into the tiny parts. Right? But yeah. Yeah, Arduino. Yeah, it's probably just all in Arduino. It's pretty easy to program in Arduino. It uses, I think, like an offshoot of C. Unless it just does use C, I can't remember. But yeah. Something I struggle with all the time. You have to remind yourself that you work on one small part at a time. Exactly. It's always like... And even just today with the questing system, it's definitely daunting even for me of like all the things that go into a questing system. It's incredibly complicated, but you know, I'm breaking it up one problem at a time. I'm like, okay, well, before I start clouding my head with all these things I have to do, let's just do this one part. Let's get this little list tracking the progress and objectives. Now, boom, we have that part done. Now we can like eliminate that chunk out of our brain. We don't have to think about it anymore, right? And so we can just move on to the next little problem that we have to solve. And then eventually you realize after doing that for a while, you've solved all of the problems and the thing that you wanted is done. So that's what it's all about, really. But yeah. Don't stress over it, so if it's not going to be perfect, just have fun and try to make it work in your unique way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's never as bad as it actually seems. It's... Because this is the thing, it's human nature to be afraid of things that are unknown to you. And it's just a survival mechanism, right? If you see some weird, scary creature out in the woods... It's scary because it's unknown to you. You don't know what it's going to do, if it's, you know, aggressive or whatever. And it's the exact same concept with anything, with programming. With making a robot hand, it's daunting and intimidating just because all you can see and know about it is robot hand. But once you start to dig into it and learn about it and understand how the robot hand works and how other people have done a robot hand, it becomes way, way easier to conceptualize in your head. The internet is always your best friend. Yeah. There's people have done everything. There's 8 billion of us doing stuff, so you can always find some kind of you know, forum post or somewhere where somebody's done the same thing as you. So I really wouldn't stress over it too bad. It's always worse before you start. So just jump into it. Things will be easier, I promise. But yeah. Alright, anyways, I am probably gonna go ahead and end stream. Been going for long enough, and we got some nice things done, but it is getting late. It's almost 8 o'clock now, and I'm gonna have to go eat and do stuff, so. Yeah, I do apologize for ending a little early, and for, like, getting nothing done today, but, you know, it's okay. Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for coming into the stream. I appreciate it, and thank you for all the raids from Hypnotic and Mad Chirpy. I always really appreciate it. Why does it say my stream is unstable? My bitrate is too high. Okay, Twitch. How is my bitrate at 6600? What's my setting? I guess it's just too high. Okay, the bitrate should be more stable, I guess. Alright, let's go pick somebody to raid. Pick somebody. Adagon is working on stuff. Okay, we can raid Adagon. Adagon's working on Down to Jam stuff. We will probably be doing Down to Jam on Friday. I guess I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I'm still conflicted. Obviously, it would be fun, and it was a good time the first time around, but it's just the time commitment. Sometimes I feel bad, like I'm failing you guys because I'm not working on Starground. But I think I'll probably do it. We'll go ahead and start the raid up. Twitch is complaining the bitrate's too high. I just dropped it by 500. It should be okay. Thanks guys for helping. Yeah, no worries. If you've ever got questions or, you know, anything, feel free to pop into one of the streams or join the Discord and ask on there and stuff. I'm always available. Yeah, Discord when I'm not streaming. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you everybody for coming. Feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to buy Starground on Steam. And it's in early access right now. We'll be live again on Friday, doing Down to Jam, I suppose. And yeah, we're gonna go raid Adagon. He's working on the Down to Jam website right now. So yeah, should be cool. Hopefully we get a good theme this year. Or not this year, it's still the same year. I don't know, some of the themes that I did like this theme voting, some of them were I don't know, but we'll see. Alright, bye everybody. I'll see you on Friday, 3:30 MDT. Bye-bye.